Hello and welcome back. So we are here now with Honeydew Crafts and we have got another brand new launch. Welcome, lovely to see you again.
You too.
I'm really excited about these new stamp sets.
Oh, I love them.
So
We're known for our flowers, so it's nice to go back to what we're known for. I love them.
And I feel sort of like as well, with flowers, butterflies probably as well, they tend to be the most used across every kind of occasion. They're the most
100%.
loved. So
you can just by changing the sentiment, it completely changes the look of the same card.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what we have got for you today, okay, is we have got 7 new stamp sets. 6 of them are going to, you can get them individually, but they also will come within a bundle. And then we've kind of got an extra stamp set that I'll introduce to you just after those, which are the sentiments to be able to go gorgeously with this, of course, with everything else that you have in your stash as well. Oh, let's bring the full price in for the bundle initially. We will, of course, give you a little discount on this as well that will come in for you. And this means you can get all of the brand new ones. Now, I will start with this, which is your flaming flowers that we've got here. I just love that we've got all of the separate sort of flowers here and the foliage, and then we can build these amazing flowers.
That is how Honeydew Crafts started out. My first ever stamp was a set of 3 flowers and 3 foliage that were the different sizes. I launched 12 sets of 12 designs, 10 designs, 12 of each. Yeah. And we sold out within 20 minutes of the show opening. And
I'm not surprised.
What on earth just happened? So we made a website within two days.
Did you?
Completely.
Wow, and then went from
And then it just went bonkers. So flowers and that layout of flowers is exactly where Honeydew Crafts started. That's
and it's gorgeous to see the samples of what you can create. I mean, that amazing foliage that you can see from that. But if you want to, you can do something where just one is enough and it speaks enough, doesn't it? Like
Definitely.
that.
Clean and simple, or you can go completely to town on it like this one.
Something like that. So you can see all 3 of those samples totally different, but all created, of course, from that initial stamp set that we're seeing there. Something I do just need to just quickly give you a mention on before I come across to all the others is we currently have 25 chances, okay, of this big bundle. So if you want the big bundle, the individuals are there, but if you want the full bundle, then there is 25 chances to get this, which is where you'll get them at the best prices as well. So that is the first set that is within this. Now, the Tiger Lily, oh my. I just think the size of this stamp, the look of it, but the fact that then it's got all of these gorgeous sentiments that come with it, where you've got your thanks, you've got wishing you the best of luck, thank you for brightening up my day, and have a lovely day as well. I mean, it's just stunning.
Again, I don't often put sentiments particularly with my sets of stamps because I think if it's got a sentiment on it, people only look at it for that particular reason.
Yeah, I can understand that,
So that's why there's kind of quite an eclectic range on there.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think, you know, when you look at that image, it can cross over to so many different occasions, like you said, so it works brilliantly with the thanks. But then if you went for the thank you for brightening up my day, how perfect is that, where you've kind of stamped it out a couple of times?
And that's nice, just to send just a card to somebody. You don't have to have a reason to send it.
Just because. I mean, when I look at this one, how it's been done here with the sort of embossing powder, I would be thinking with that, I just want to frame it. That for me is wall art. You know, it's just so lovely, isn't it? Kind of being done in the black there with the background colours as well.
Out.
Yeah, outstanding. So that's the second stamp set. We've then got this one, which is your floral oval frame, something that is so difficult to create, and yet you've got it perfectly created there. And again, some additional sentiments on this one as well.
Yeah, definitely. And those sentiments fit inside the frame. So our last release, we had our floral art set, which was one of our biggest selling this year. So we brought it out as an oval because that was done on squares. Okay. And this one out as the oval, and it's proving to be the same. It's flying out, this one.
Look at that, and it's just absolutely lovely. But we've got another sample here where it's been used with the Merry Christmas one, so you might already have some little sort of sentiments at home that then you can add into them as well.
And the thing is that I love the fact that I think Hazel's done that one, that's been done that way, because people pick up the set of stamps and it's upright, and that's how they think they have to use it. So I love the fact that Hazel's gone and done that and just
flip it and
changed it.
Yeah, looks as good both ways, doesn't it? So yeah, either way that you want to do that. So that's your third stamp set. There's another 3 to come to you as well. We've got Crest Blooms. Okay, about 20% of this large bundle has gone. As I say, we have a limited amount for you to be able to get if you want that full bundle, so do jump in quickly if you'd like to get all of these. Now that, again, I mean, that is just lovely, that flourish of flowers that you're seeing there.
And it is. You can use it and colour it in if you want to. You can decoupage the flowers, or you could just stamp it like you just saw the other one, done in black on a coloured background, and it would really pop. And those sentiments fit in just inside that little...
They're gorgeous, aren't they? I mean, this one, your live life in full bloom. I mean, what a lovely sort of words to have there. But also comes with your friends forever and your happy birthday that we can see as well. And I love, same sentiment having been used on that, but by using this twice, it creates such a different effect from what we've kind of seen in that first one.
And the stencil that's been used in the background is our lovely bubbly stencil, which is also on the show.
Super. So you just have a look on the website because we've got everything there in pre-order. So if you want to jump in and get that, for example, you can do as well. Then we've got your Stargaze, which is a really large stamp. Again, I mean, you could cut into this, you could do anything like that, or you can stamp that whole gorgeous image with that centerpiece of that flower.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about these stamps, although that's a large image of a stamp, it still fits on a C6 card.
Oh, perfect.
So it will be perfect for if you just want to send a little quick thank you card or anything like that. They're ideal for that too.
Yeah, which is great, isn't it? Because it looks like a real statement piece, but actually you say, yeah, you don't need to make huge cards like this. You could, of course, do something like that if you wanted to.
And that's so simple, just using the line stencil, which is also in today's show. These are all stencils that we've recently brought to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And just stamped in black. So if you're not hugely confident in colouring, it's ideal.
Absolutely. And then that one as well, where we open that up, look at that. I mean, that's like a full piece of art that's been created, isn't it, in that full card that we can see there. And then we have the final stamp set that comes as part of this full brand new collection is your Fly Away. Now, I mentioned at the beginning how obviously florals and butterflies tend to be the best sellers. You've got both in this collection.
Go for it. Butterflies are great as well because if you do make a little mistake or you've got a little bit of ink there somewhere, they're the ones that you're
which we always say. And I love that you've got that kind of large centerpiece where you've got, you know, all those butterflies kind of flying around, but then you've got all of the individual sizes of the butterflies as well, kind of flying ones.
So you can decoupage it and make it easier.
Yeah, and you can see that on there where it's been decoupaged up. Just love.
So this is a card that we made on our YouTube Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago, and there's one. The next one in it is exactly the same card.
Yeah.
Just done in different colours.
Oh, yes.
So all I've done differently on that is change the colour. And on that one, I've drawn around the actual frame. And on the other one, I've kind of doodled along just two sides.
Yeah. And it actually makes it look completely different.
Completely different colour, just by changing the colour.
And then this one, where it's sort of stamped out all of the butterflies. If you do want to do it as like a background or anything like that, absolutely lovely way to use it as well, isn't it? So it does mean that you are going to get all 6 of these stamp sets. So you have got, of course, those gorgeous Fly Away, the butterflies that you see in there. Your flaming flowers are coming to you, so you've got lots of separate ones that we can see on this one. Also your Stargaze. We have then got the opportunity for your Tiger Lily. We have your floral oval frame, and we have the crest blooms that we can see there. So all 6 of these brand new today, and you are able to get them, of course, at a deal price as well if you want to go for all 6 of them today at £55, which is absolutely brilliant for you to be able to jump in and take advantage of them. And I feel sort of like when you see these, I would be like, I can't choose. I don't know which one I'm going to go for. I want them all, you know. They are the
That's
most
why
amazing
when we
flowers.
bring them to the show, we always do a big bundle and then lots and lots of the individuals
as well,
so that you can
People
always
can choose then, can't they?
If
Which
you
is a
can't
nice way.
push to the full budget, there are a range there for you as well.
because everyone has different budgets and things like that, so it's nice to have the choice, isn't it, between them. About a third of the stock of these has gone, so do, of course, jump in and take advantage if you want it like this, or go onto the web where everything is already available there to be able to get the individuals if you wanted to. Shall we have a look at your first demo?
Shall we go for it?
Yeah.
So we're using the the Chaos stencil that we released, I think, at the last release, and we've also got our flaming flowers. So I'm going to do the stenciling part first. So this is the heaviest piece of stenciling I want. It's the bit that I've got tucked up under here. I want it to be the darker colours. So we're using picked raspberry here with our blending brushes.
Perfect.
And we're just going to go in over the top of that. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you're not great at blending, and I say this all the time, if you're not great at blending, stenciling is a perfect way to get used to the control of the brush or whatever stenciling tool you're using without, if you go wrong, you go wrong. But it won't be so obvious if there's a stencil there, which is the great thing.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we're just going to go all the way over there. Try and blend those 2 colours in a little bit there. So you go back in with the original colour, and that will help to blend that in. And then, so that's picked raspberry, fossilised amber. Everybody always asks me what colours I'm using, so I have to remember.
Yeah, it's good to know, isn't it?
And then we've got cracked pistachio. And again, obviously my brushes I use all the time, so they're loaded with the ink colours, but you don't have to keep going in and adding loads and loads.
No.
Take it bit by bit. If your brush isn't too loaded, you can always go in and add more, but you can't take it away quite so easily. So we just blend over the top of that one. And so, as I said, this is the piece that I want it to be the heaviest.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to end up with. I'm then going to go in with my larger piece, and we're going to do the same again. Now, obviously, using the larger piece means my colours are going to be slightly off. So if you wanted to go in and clean that off and start again, you can. I'm just going to make it work for me.
Okay.
Because we have got one that we did earlier, and you don't need to see me cleaning a stencil at the moment. So, and I'm not going to be adding much ink to the blending brushes. Actually, we'll take it a bit higher up with the pink. So I'm not adding huge amounts of ink to those brushes. I'm pretty much using what was already on the brush.
Perfect.
So it will give you it means that you're not going to waste all that lovely ink that's already on there.
Yeah, which you don't want to do you?
And you're going to take that ink slightly lighter up through the top.
Lovely.
And then we're going to take that, so you can see it's the same stencil, just a much, much, much lighter version of the same thing. We're going to flip that over. I am just going to quickly wipe over that, because I want to flip that over and not get that covered in ink. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. So, and then I'm going to take my cracked pistachio, and I just want to colour the back of this.
Okay.
About halfway down. Doesn't have to be completely covered. It can be a bit mottled, and it will make sense in a moment.
Yeah.
So just work that on there. If you've got a coloured paper and you want to just colour, and the other side isn't coloured, and you want the stencil on the other side, you can just use a coloured paper and use the white side of
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
other side for the stencil if you don't want to do this, but I want mine all colour coordinated. So I'm a bit like that. So then we are going to grab 2 tools here, and they're tools that you've all got in your crafting bag, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we've got a pen, and as round a pen as you can, but quite a chunky one.
Okay.
And we're going to flip that back over, and we are going to roll.
Oh, I
Now,
see.
the reason I say use a chunky-ish pen first, it stops you getting that sort of almost crease within your card. Because you don't want a crease, you want it to be circular.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So then we're going to then wrap that round a slightly smaller one, which is a kebab stick, which at this time of year we've all got in the drawer.
Yeah, it's true. Ready for our barbecues.
And you will end up, so obviously I've got 2 here. So that's the kind of look you're going for.
Okay.
This one's going to be a bit tighter until it's relaxed a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll go with the one that I did beforehand. Again, that ink's going to go a long way, so we're just going to take that out of the way. Right, so I've got a piece of paper that is just a plain piece that I've just literally inked around the edge of, and we're going to pop that, stick that down and get that out of the way.
Okay.
My YouTube fans always make me laugh because they mention that I always do my glue in exactly the same way.
Really? Yeah. I think it's like most things, you don't realise it's such a habit. But
I know, it really is a habit. So I'm then going to take the piece that I did. It's up to you. You can go with it in reverse so that your greens and blues flow through, or you can flip it round and you're just going to do it up whichever way you want. So we're basically layering this up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get my top piece in first, and I'm actually going to go that way round, I think.
I love that.
So we're going to pop that in. And I'm just building the card first, and then we'll go on to do the embellishment part of it. So roughly, now I'm not going to press that down hugely hard yet, in case I need to lift that off.
Yeah.
I'm hoping not to. I'm hoping I had a good enough eye not to have to. And then we're just going to stick this section down.
Okay.
But remember, you want to have some of that movement on there. So don't go too high up with your glue.
No.
So that's that bit done. So that's your card base done, and pop that to one side. We're then going to make some flowers. This is what we are known for.
Yeah.
So I've got a piece of vellum. So this is just offcuts. I keep all my offcuts of vellum. So if I've cut stuff down in size, I don't waste that. Never want to waste that. So we're just going to go over that with the anti-static bag, which we've brought back. They sold out so fast last time.
I'm not surprised.
And we've got white embossing powder on here. Now with vellum, the ink doesn't soak into it quite the same. It's got a coating on it. So it won't soak in. So you can get second, third, and quite often a fourth generation of stamp out of the same inking.
Oh, okay.
And quite often the third and fourth are the best image.
Yes, yeah, but
just stamp those out. Super quick. And then again, same with some foliage. I've just popped a couple of our foliage stamps on there. So this is from the same Flaming Flowers stamp set.
lovely.
And roughly, have a rough idea of, we'll just go with the edge because I can't really see in the studio like where that is. And then we're going to take just a scrap piece of cardstock, and I keep hundreds of these floating around on my desk. And I'm just going to sprinkle the embossing powder all over and give it a good flick.
Great,
The flowers are up this end, so we're going to do the same up this end.
Yeah. And all the bits that we're obviously seeing you use, I'll come to after you finish your demo, and we'll just make them all live, like the embossing powders and the stencil and everything like that.
They will be available. These flew out last time. The glue, the embossing powders, everything. We were in with Christmas last time. It just went mad. So we're just going to heat that. Now, normally, everybody will know, I usually heat from underneath, unless I'm using vellum.
Oh, okay.
It's not heat-resistant vellum, it's just regular vellum. You don't want the heat-resistant because it won't allow you to curl. The heat resistant is designed not to curl as it goes through your printer.
Right, okay.
So just regular vellum, and I will heat this from on top.
Okay.
Purely because the longer you heat it, the more of the embossing powder is going to crack off.
Right, got you.
Hopefully not too much will. At the end of the day, you're asking embossing powder to stick to a plastic, which is what pretty much vellum is these days. It's a synthetic paper. And embossing powder is tiny, tiny particles of plastic. So it's not, they aren't friends, but you're going to make them be nice to each other. So you just want that embossing powder to almost chase you as you're melting it. Do not be tempted to go back and give it that extra just in case waft over with your heat gun. And also another little tip, when you're heating with your heat gun, don't do it like you blow drying your hair. Don't be waving it around everywhere. Hold it in place and just let it move with you.
Yeah.
So that's the flower stamped out. We're literally going to then flip those over. Get these out of our way. And I'm just going to take any random colour and just scribble on the back.
Okay.
The reason we do it on the back is that the white will still pop.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll still see that. And the colour initially looks quite pale, but as you start layering these up, and I'm only going to cut one of these out.
Yeah.
As you start layering them up, the colour becomes much stronger. If you are not hugely confident in cutting out, and people will hear me say this an awful lot, give yourself a little border around the edge. If you're confident, just go for it.
Yeah.
But if you're not, if you give yourself, I don't know if we can bring the camera in, but if I cut sort of like that, your line, your sight goes straight to the white line, not where you've cut it out, so it will avoid it if you're not the most perfect at cutting stuff out, so, or if you don't enjoy doing it.
No, exactly, yeah. It's all, everyone's different, aren't they?
I love sitting and cutting stuff out.
Do you?
I do.
I think it can be quite calming, can't it?
It is.
Like, kind of turns the mind off.
Completely go into my own little world.
Yeah, which is lovely.
And usually I have to, if I'm doing something up close or it's really intricate, I have to take my glasses off to see it these days. So, and I always say when I haven't got my glasses on, I can't hear anything either.
That's the best then. You can just literally sit there and pretend. Yeah. Unless somebody suddenly says like, hey, do you want like, I don't know, whatever your favourite food is, or ice cream or something like that.
Then
my
I'll
little
hear
boy,
that.
he'll pretend he can't hear anything, and then you suddenly go, do you want any ice cream? And suddenly it's like, oh, he can hear, you know, like.
There is a response. Those listening ears have been switched on.
I think that's with all of us, you know. When we want to hear, we can.
So we've cut that all out, and then again, I'm going to take a kebab stick, and just from the side, I'm just going to roll that around that kebab stick.
It makes such a difference, doesn't it, by rolling like that, to give it that dimension.
Quite often you'll just see flipped over or flipped under. If you give it a roll, it gives it a lot more dimension.
Okay.
And you can be quite tough with it, as you can see. I'm not being very delicate at all. And then you're going to pop it in the middle of your hand and you're going to give it a poke and a wiggle.
Oh, okay.
And the heat from your hand, just by holding it in there, curls those petals up.
See, yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I've already done a couple. Now, obviously, this flower holds an awful lot of embossing powder in the centre.
Yeah.
So it can be a little bit more tricky to get them to stick, so bear with them. Don't go crazy with the glue and you should be good to go. So we'll just stick that there and hold those together. Try and clear up as I'm going along. I'm normally at home. I'm quite a tidy crafter.
Are you? Yeah.
And then when I'm on here, I seem to have everything everywhere.
It doesn't look like it. I think you look tidy. We often end up where it's just chaos, you know, on shows.
So as I say, this one might take a little bit longer to hold because it doesn't like that embossing powder.
Yeah.
I have got the 3 colours I'm
look
going to
how
be using
beautiful they
already.
look.
And then I've also done the same with some foliage. And again, I've cut those out. And I don't know if you noticed, and I don't think I mentioned it. When I cut my flowers out, I came right almost into the centre to give me a little bit more movement on the petal. So instead of just coming in where the 2 petals meet, you've cut further down.
Yeah, okay.
So that would be your flower complete.
That's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful. And it just shows how by layering them up, just
you get
what
so
it
much
goes to,
dimension.
and with that colour on the vellum, it's lovely.
Card. So also that stencil that you used earlier has still got ink on it. So I'm not going to waste it. I'm just going to go in again with those same brushes, and I'm just randomly going to pick up some of that colour on the inside of my card. I have a thing about doing stuff on the inside of cards. I think it really finishes them off.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
makes them look like a finished card.
Nice, yeah.
So, there we have our card. And now we're going to stick these flowers down.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a pink in the middle.
And would you recommend that glue, your sticky glue?
I use the sticky glue all the time. It gives you a little bit of wiggle room to get those. I've just managed to pull my gem out at the same time, so we'll hold that all in together. Yeah, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to get things where you want them to be.
Yeah.
If it's something really difficult to stick down, then definitely I would use red liner tape.
Okay, yes.
But I would also make sure I still had some sticky glue on there, because again, that will give you a couple of seconds wiggle room to get it where you want it to be.
Yeah, which you need, don't you?
That gem is going to give me nightmares. So we'll stick this next one down.
Oh, it's so pretty.
And as I say, flowers is where all of my gems are going to come out, so we're going to take them
Oh,
all
yeah,
off.
definitely.
That's because they got left in the car and I've got warm, I think.
Yeah, it's always the difference, isn't it, when you're travelling down.
Pop in some pink gems here. So they're all going to have pink gems in the middle now.
That's fine, isn't it?
Hopefully.
Great. It's just so nice as well to have that colour that is in the flowers, but also you've used on the background to kind of make it all
try and
work
tie
together.
everything together.
Yeah.
So again, with the foliage, I've gone in quite close to that stem just to give me some room to move those around. And they are quite delicate petals on the foliage, so just you don't need to get too difficult with them. Just be a little bit more gentle.
Yeah,
and then
it's
we're just
gorgeous.
going to layer these up. And I always stick top and bottom of the stems, because then it means it will stick somewhere. It'll either stick on the top or it'll stick on the bottom.
Really lovely.
Or not stick at all, like this is trying to do to me.
Probably because of the heat in here as well.
It is warm in here, isn't it?
Yeah. We always think as well, it's like, when do you stop? Because you know, when you've got like the foliage, you want to kind of, I always think you want to just keep adding and adding and adding.
I know you can keep going and going and going. I'm quite a clean cut. If you see the samples and stuff that I do, I try not to go too crazy.
Which is better.
I do try. It's not always successful, but I try. Try to know when to stop, not
Yes.
why. And then this could be something that you just pop in your stash, ready for whenever you need a special card.
Yeah.
Or whatever sentiment you want to pop on there. And the nice thing, this is a landscape A5 card. So you could either have it up this way.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way, couldn't you?
Or you can turn it around and
That's
have
just
it up.
fabulous. Wow, I love it. I really do. And like you say, any sentiment on there and it's going to just work perfectly. Now, I will just go through some of the individual bits that, of course, we've used in that card for you to be able to get. Now, if you would like to get this stamp set that we've just saw being used there on its own, then you can do. So that is where you have got, of course, all of those individual flowers, that beautiful amount of foliage that we can see there as well. And it's £9.99 to be able to get that. And you can create what we've just seen Amanda doing, or, of course, you can create anything like these samples as well with something like that, which is just beautiful. So £9.99 if you want that one individually. Now, the other ones that we have as well is we have got your crest blooms that you can see here. And this is where you are getting your additional sentiments, of course, come in with this, as well as the absolute flourish with the flowers that we can see. So you've got Live Life in Full Bloom, you've got Happy Birthday, you've also got Forever Friends that we can see on that one as well. And of course, then what I will do is I'll just give you a look at one of the samples as well of what you might want to create, of course, with that stamp set that we're seeing. So that is, again, £9.99 for you to be able to get that. The floral oval frame, very, very popular, I think, because it's very difficult, of course, to be able to create that frame without something like that. Your sentiments will fit in the middle of this as well, which is absolutely brilliant. You've got best wishes, wishing you a very happy birthday, or I hope your day is full of fun and celebration on that one. And you could create something like this, which is absolutely beautiful. So that one is, again, £9.99. Tiger Lily, I think this one, for me, is probably my favourite. I just love that central image. It's just, you know, sometimes something just calls out for you, doesn't it? Is it the next demo? Oh, lovely. And again, you can just see how amazing that is as a centrepiece. Alternatively, you can build it up like that, something with more than one of them stamped out. Again, £9.99 for you to get this. We've also got your stargaze that you can see just there. So a lovely kind of image where, again, I can really see kind of using the whole of this. I can see that you could be snipping bits of this one out as well. You know, it's totally up to you, but just look at that one, for example, that's created. As we open that, you can see it's been used as background, it's been used as the centrepiece, it's been used in the inside of the card as well. So really, really mesmerising. Once again at £9.99. And then finally, if it is your butterflies that you're looking for, we have got your Fly Away set, which is so many butterflies in this. Again, decoupage them up, use them separately. It's totally up to you. I mean, I think it looks wonderful where you've used this as a background if you wanted to. It could be you're just cutting out individual butterflies. Or if you did want to actually kind of decoupage this up and layer it up, then you've got that opportunity that we can see just there. So they are all individually sitting at £9.99. But of course, if you want all of these, then we have got a limited amount of them that are available, of course, in the bundle. And that is where you are going to get a bit of money back in your pockets as well. So if you want all 6 of them, you can take advantage of that. And you can, of course, get this at £55 instead. So it's like you're pretty much getting £5 taken off one of these stamp sets for you to get. Now, that's on split pay as well. So you're actually only paying, of course, today £27.50 to take this home, with it being on split pay to get all 6 of them, and then you pay the other amount the month later. A few of the things that we used during that demonstration was, and then I'll show you the sentiments. Yes, that's a good point. I forgot about them. The Chaos stencil that we can see just here, which just created the most incredible background on that finished card. Great size that we can see there in a 7x7, £6.50 as well, so a really, really good price. And again, we've got some really lovely sort of ways that you can use this, because I think it's really clever, that one as well, where it's actually been drawn around the parts of the stencil.
That was
really
a demo
again,
one that I did Facebook Live with.
Okay.
And there's loads of different little tips and tricks that come up on our Facebook, and everybody calls in and chit chats.
Yeah. So is that just on like
we do YouTube and Facebook Live
all under your name, Honeydew Crafts?
Honeydew Crafts.
Perfect. Yep. So go on then. You can join, of course, that community to learn loads more as well. So that's if you want that was used. Now the sentiments that we've been talking about, which a lot of you have already been checking out on the website, and I'm not surprised. These are, and it's brilliant because they are your general sentiments that we've got here, and you have got such a mix. You know, sending good thoughts your way, Thanks for going the extra mile. Feel better soon. Friendship never stops blooming. For someone who is wonderful in each and every way. And then this one I adore. In a field of daisies, be a wildflower.
That's me, I'm afraid. I'm not one that's going to stick to the crowd.
I'm glad that the sort of, I am as well. I'm the same. So people that I think we're more like that if we're in this kind of field, to be honest.
Think so.
There's probably a reason we do a job like this. But, you know, you're getting all of those for £9.99. And I like that they're a bit sort of, you know, different to sentiments that we normally see, aren't they?
Yeah, that's why I thought we need something that's not just the regular happy birthday, best wishes.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everyone's got them, so it's nice to have something that's a bit more thoughtful, I think, because it's a bit different. So that one is £9.99, not as part of a bundle, just individually. Now, we also used embossing powders in that demo. You were using the white, wasn't you?
I did,
in that
yes.
one. So we've got your white that you can see just here, but we've actually got another 3 that are coming within this fabulous bundle as well. So you've got your white opal, and when you look at that, look at the amount of sparkle.
So that's the
coming
white
through
powder
that.
with an iridescent glitter in there, so it really, really does sparkle.
Love that. The crystal clear that we've got as well.
Which is, if you follow us, you'll know this is my every crafter needs crystal clear, because if you've got a coloured ink, you can just pop the crystal clear over the top, and then you've got pink embossing powder, or you've got green embossing powder, or
so you can create any colour.
And you'll see I use it on top of black, because black embossing powder and the darker colours are notorious for speckles being everywhere.
Yes,
Crystal clear, you can't see those speckles.
So clever. Yeah, so that is a must, definitely. Yes. And then the final one is your sparkling crystal,
which is exactly the same powder but with a glitter.
But it's got the glitter. Superb. So you can get all 4 of those today. Okay, so your white, your white opal, then you've got your crystal clear and your sparkling crystal, and they are £5, or just under £5 each, because they are £20, £19.96 for all 4 of them. But we are very, very limited in terms of the availability on those. The other couple of bits that we've got is we've got the brushes, and we've got 2 different sets of brushes. Would you say it's a must to have both?
It depends how you want to work. I've got both, obviously, and which is why we sell both. I love the smaller ones for certain things, and the bigger ones for my bigger projects. So the bigger ones I use on lots of my stencils, like you saw me using earlier. The smaller ones, if you just want the intricate detail. Yeah, because
you can really kind of get into where you want to, can't you, with these ones? And I think it's when you feel them, they're just so soft as well, aren't they?
I think some people just buy them just to do exactly
just that.
And the nice thing about ours is they come with those little caps on the top, so your colours aren't going to contaminate with each other. Yeah, and then you can kind of pop them in your bag as well, and you don't need to worry about it, do you? So you can get both of those today for £7.50. So that's for both of the blending brushes for you to be able to take home. And then the larger sizes that we were talking about, we've got just here, and they come in like your little They come in those little cases. Now you'll notice you've got 2 different shaped cases there. They're exactly the same brush. They're just, some of them come in one shape and some come in another. They open sideways.
Well done, thank you. I'm trying to open it off the head, which is obviously not going to do. So you're going to get, again, 2 of these, both with the cases that you can see, so the larger blending brushes that you've got. And again, by putting them in, it means you can then pop them into your bag straight away.
And it keeps the bristles safe as well. They're not going to get damaged. And then you'll be able to use them time and time again. And for cleaning them, again, it's exactly the same as you would if you were cleaning a makeup brush. You just rinse them out with soapy water, leave them to air dry.
Fabulous. Yeah, we don't have many of these left, so if you do want them, we've got about 15 chances, and 2 of these for £9.98. Again, really, really soft, and you saw the fabulous effects that they create on that. Just the other couple of things that we had was the sticky glue, which is back in stock today, an absolutely fabulous glue, as Amanda was saying, and we've got it back here for you to be able to get that today. So we'll get the price in, so it's available for you to, of course, jump in and take advantage of as well. Oh gosh, we're already down to single figures on this, so well done if you have spotted it. Single figures available at £9.99. And the other thing that completely sold out as well last time was your anti-static bag, which of course is a must to be able to use with the lights through embossing powder. And I just love the kind of finish on it with a little heart.
We've had our own special design.
It's great, isn't it?
It's really lovely. And it means you don't lose it. I mean,
no, that's
when
true.
it's on your desk and there's white paper everywhere, there's nothing worse than trying to find that little white bag that you can't go without.
Yeah, definitely.
So these ones really stand out on your desk.
Which is fabulous. So that is there at £3.99. Shall we have a look at another demo?
Shall we go for it? So we're using the oval stencils and masks. So with this one, you get the stencil that you'll see on my desk here. And you get all the masks to go with that as well. I have used tissue paper all the way around here. I use this magnetic board, but we try and cram as much into our stencils as possible. So sometimes there's colours can cross-contaminate here.
Okay.
Where one stencil hole is closer to the other. So I always pop in a little bit of kitchen paper, and as you can see, I keep reusing it. I've got the same pieces over and over again. So it's not a complete waste. You're not going to waste any of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go in with our first colour, which is wild honey. And then I'm going to take spiced marmalade and do the same thing over the top of that.
Lovely.
And then I'm going to go back for the wild honey to blend those two colours a little bit more on the edge there.
Okay.
And then last but not least, we've got carved pumpkin on here as well. And you can see how easy it is to get that colour down really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. And that's because the tools, isn't it? It just makes it easier when you've got
makes
that.
it so easy. And again, once you get a little bit more confident with your blending, then you can go for these bigger shapes. It gets you working with your blending brushes, and it gives you the confidence to make these bigger images the colour you want them to be. So that's our base of our card done. How quick was that?
Really fast, wasn't it?
I'm going to just take those out of the way. And as I say, I keep all of these pieces and I just reuse them over and over again.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that yellow is going to go a long way. That's on your stencil, so be careful where you place that. Now this is the perfect opportunity to use your embossing powder.
Okay.
Your anti-static bag. So I'm going to be using embossing powder on here.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm just going to wipe over the top of that first. Then I'm going to go in and heat it.
Okay.
Just really quickly, because I don't want that paper to curl too much.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go back in with that embossing, with the anti-static bag.
Yeah.
So we've got VersaFine Onyx Black, which is my go-to black ink.
Okay.
And it's on super smooth cardstock. I'm going to ink that stamp up. Lots and lots of little light taps. Don't be tempted to press really hard and push that in, because it'll take up all that little detail of your stamp. And plenty of ink. I always take my ink to my stamp, not my stamp to my ink, because you'll get a much more even coverage, because you can see where you've been.
Yeah, of course you can.
And that makes a huge difference. So many people say to me, I can't stamp, I can't stamp. These are the little tricks that
those
make
things
it
that
possible for you to stamp.
Yeah, definitely.
So then we're just going to stamp slightly off the page on this one, or off the oval, should I say. It's a large stamp, so give it time to get that ink to sink into the cardstock. So unlike with the vellum on the flowers earlier, you want the ink to actually transfer and sink into the fibres of the paper. Then we're going to take our crystal clear embossing powder. And you need to work quite quickly when you're using this ink with embossing powder. And I'm hoping we dried that off enough. Sort of. Give it a good flick with that one.
Yeah.
Pop that back in your box.
You don't want to waste any of that.
In your jar. You hardly use any embossing powder. These will last you a long time. And then you're going to heat that. As I mentioned earlier, heat from underneath if you can. It's not a deal breaker. It's more difficult if you're going to be colouring it in, because the embossing powder, by heating underneath, it puts a barrier between you and the air that blows out of the heat tool. And so the embossing powder can jump around a little bit, because they're not particularly good friends. So you just, by heating from underneath, you give yourself that little barrier, a little buffer, and it will give you a smoother finish on your embossing powder. So that's now super shiny.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick that up.
Oh wow, that's fab. I always love that transformation with embossing powder. It doesn't matter how many times I see it, I just love the finish.
It really is addictive. So then we're just going to build this card up. So again, I've got another couple of layers of different papers here. So this is the middle layer, so to speak. So I want to pick up some of that colour. So we're going to go with the middle colour, and I'm just going to ink around the edge. So if you're, like we all are, we're watching the pennies. White cardstock, black cardstock, and you can pretty much make any card pop.
Very true.
If you've got the white cardstock and you want to spend the money on your inks, you can have so many more coloured inks rather than having lots of different colours of papers. So think about it that way. Just make sure you've got a good quality paper. again, those of you that have used Distress Oxides will know that the yellows and oranges go an awful long way, so make sure you're clearing up as you're going.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll stick this one on. She says. And the heat in here is clogging up my glue. I've just realised we've done two DL cards, two
Yes.
A5 cards. I don't normally, I'm normally an 8x8 card.
That's okay.
There we go. There are your two layers.
Yeah.
I'm going to pop this one. In fact, I'm going to add a little bit of colour around the edge of that one too, because I think it's a little bit dark. So we're going to go in. I think it's too white.
Yes, you want a little bit more of an edge.
Too white. I'm going to add some extra colour there.
Gorgeous.
If you've heat embossed something and you've got a couple of minutes that you can spare before you stick it together, give yourself those couple of minutes. It allows the cardstock to relax.
Okay.
If you notice, my cardstock's a little bit curled here.
Right.
Because it hasn't had time to relax.
Yeah.
So we'll make that stick down. And then we've got a sentiment wishing you the best of luck.
Lovely.
And we're just going to pop that
That's so beautiful, isn't it?
on there. And there we go.
Wow. Stunning, isn't it? It really is absolutely gorgeous. So this is the tiger lily that you can see just there. So you've got that fabulous central image, as you can see with that one. And then wishing you the best of luck was what Amanda's used, of course, to finish that card off. Remember, if you want any of these individually, they are £9.99. So if you're thinking, I just want that tiger lily, then you can get that for £9.99. But of course, the best way and the best price is to get all 6 of these new stencil and these new stamp sets that we've got. So you've got this one as well that will come with this, which is a really lovely mix, isn't it, of the flowers that we're seeing there, the beautiful foliage that we've got as well that comes with it. Then we've got your crest blooms. We've got that really large kind of flourish of flowers. We've also got additional sentiments that come with this, some very usable ones. This one, the floral oval frame, looks like it's hand-drawn. I think that's what I love with this in terms of when you stamp it out, you could kind of get away with being like, yeah, I did that myself, because it's been done perfectly. But it looks, by using the ink, like you've kind of really kind of got your pencil out and kind of done that yourself, which I think is really nice. And again, some additional sentiments with that one. Then your stargaze, another really kind of large scene that we've got there, beautiful kind of swirling motions that are coming out of this. And then finally, your fly away is coming to you as well, which is where you're getting to see all of that kind of central large butterfly design with the swirls, with that finish and flourish, and then additional kind of separate butterflies, so you can actually pop them on and decoupage those layers up if you'd like to, or of course use them as individual butterflies on any of your cards, maybe creating a cascade of butterflies, or maybe you're wanting to just cover up a little mistake. It's totally up to you. And of course today you're getting a discount if you go for all of them, down to £55, and it's available on a 2-way split pay as well, which does mean that you could take these home for £27.50. So for less than the price that you could even get 3 of them, and yet all 6 will arrive to you, and then you can pay off the rest of it the following month completely interest-free, which is absolutely brilliant. But of course, if you want to go individually, then you can do it. It's totally up to you. A few of the stencils I will give you a look at. There's loads of stencils, just to let you know. They're all on the website, but if you'd like to have a look at some of these, I will give you a look, of course, at them. This is a really cool one, the Scribbles stencil that I've just seen just there. So I will just kick off with this one. That's very different. It almost feels like kind of, you know, like modern graffiti or something like that.
And I think it's a great stencil for if you've got teenage children.
Yes, I'd agree.
Perfect for that.
Definitely.
Just change the colour up and you can be male or female. Or
yeah. Some of these would be great, I imagine, on walls as well, you know, because the sizes of them
would be really
big.
pretty.
Yeah. So that is that one that we've got. And then got to come to the lovely bubbly stencil. Obviously, we saw some lovely samples of this one earlier. And it gives you, you know, that perfect, of course, circle that you can see on that one as well. Whether you want big circles, little circles, you want to use it as a background, it's completely up to you, of course, with how to use that one. We've also got your line stencil that we can see on that one, which I think would be very, very useful to be able to get that. You could even create like fences and things, I'm thinking.
You could, that'd
like
be
that.
really nice. And there's a sample down there, I don't know if you'll be able to fish it out, but with the line stencil that we did it as a cross, like crossed it over, so it looks like a square. And that's really funky too.
Oh, that's
Again,
really
would be a great one for teenager cards and that kind of thing.
I found this one that's from the line
There it
stencil.
is,
I can
it's
show
got
you
one
this
underneath.
There we go. Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? So to be able to actually create something like that. So that one, again, they're £6.50. Also got your dot dash stencil that we can see there. Again, you might want to use this as frames or borders or anything like that.
Again, that one flies out.
Yeah.
Every time we bring it in, you sell out.
I bet.
So if you're
I'm not
after it, it's
surprised.
back.
Yeah, it's back, it's here. Not one we can normally keep into stock. Then there's the funky line stencil that you can see there as well. I mean, again, you could be creating kind of really retro looks. You might be wanting to create planets and just using part of it. It's very different, isn't it, to anything else that we can see just there as well. Another one that is always, I guess, very, very popular is this one, because as soon as I saw that, I'm seeing the mesh kind of effect that we can see on that, which is fabulous. And you could create something like this if you wanted to. Which is really lovely, and that one is £5.50 for you to be able to jump in and take advantage of that one. A few more that I will just I'll just whip through for you as well. So we have got your bold brushstroke stencil and mask. Oh, is that the one that we? That's that the one that we was using?
We'll be using that.
Use that a bit later.
After this evening's show, yeah.
So you've got that one there, but obviously it has the mask as well. I always like it when you've got the masks that actually come with it for what you can actually create with them.
Great value for money.
Yeah, definitely. If you also want another stencil and mask, then you have got the paint splats that we can see there. And rather than having to actually make a mess and create paint splats yourself, it's all done for you, and they look perfect in terms of the shapes that you're getting.
Because no matter how hard you try, you're never going to get
that
perfect.
You don't. You just get a blob, don't you, really? Then we've got your grunge frame stencil and mask that comes to you as well. So if you do like that kind of grungy finish, then that's a lovely finish and look that we can see, of course, on that one. Once again, £8.99. We've got your trailing foliage as well, which is your stencil and mask that you can see on that one, which really nice to actually be able to have that imagery.
It is. It's really pretty and really, really effective on the different things you can do with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Again, £8.99 on that one. We've got your background squiggles, a stencil and mask as well that we can see just there. That we've got on that one that we can see for you as well, where you are again going to get the perfect squiggle, because once again trying to do that with your paint or something probably not
never comes out how you want it.
No. The flower stencil and mask that you can see as well, so you've got really gorgeous different sizes, I think, which is great.
Again with that one, you're not going to get the very tiny flower in your set, because it doesn't even look like a flower until you actually start putting it together.
Yes.
So you don't get the stencil, you don't get the mask part of that.
Perfect. Yeah, which makes sense. So you actually need to kind of build those ones up. There is the oval stencil and mask that we can see there as well that we've got, which we used, of course, in the earlier demo. And then we also have this one, which is similar to that, but in your circles that
and
we've got
again,
there.
you don't get the tiny circle for that one either.
Yeah, so not that little tiny dot that we've got just here.
It's not going to make you much use as a mask, but it's brilliant as a stencil.
Fabulous. So all of them, of course, are available for you at those lowest prices, which we wanted to make available for you. Would you like to squeeze another demo in? We've got about 7-8 minutes.
Yeah, easily done.
Perfect. Let's do that.
So we are using our lovely bubbly stencil.
Lovely.
I just want to quickly flip this up and show you something. I have 2 separate pieces of cardstock here.
Yeah.
I've buttered them up together because I want them to be continuous.
Okay.
So we've buttered them up together, and we're going to blend them together. So we're just going to take, this one is broken china. And again, don't have to go too heavy-handed with this. Faded jeans. And I'm going to throw everybody off because I am using circles with the ovals.
Oh, okay, right.
And that's not done, is it? Really?
No, you don't really think of that, do you?
So we're going to take those colours through. Just going to go back in and add a bit more of that turquoisey glue. So we've got faded jeans, broken china, and chipped sapphire at the end. I'm not going to spend ages doing this because I want to get into the main part.
Yeah.
But you get the idea of what you need to do.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to whip that away
Okay.
so you can see roughly.
That's beautiful.
But this is
I like that
actually
bubbles one.
how we want it to look. So
Okay.
slightly darker.
Yeah,
I'm just
super.
speed crafting so we can get this one in. So I have done lots and lots ahead. So we're doing a Z fold card.
Yeah,
I've done a larger piece already.
lovely.
I've also done some layering. I haven't stuck these layers down because I just want to explain a couple of things.
Okay.
This is a bugbear with me. Something I always try and get people to do. When you're doing Z fold cards,
Yeah.
if you're doing multiple layers, lay it out flat and try and line your layers up.
Yeah.
Because as you start building it together,
Okay.
it will pop where you go
Yes,
wrong.
Yeah.
So think about those kinds of things. Don't just chuck
Yeah.
it all together.
Yeah, because you want it to be in line, don't you? Rather than suddenly you kind of move it and you think, oh, actually, this doesn't quite look.
And you'd be really cross
Right.
with yourself if it really popped out and it really showed up that you had done that.
Yeah, definitely.
So work with your bigger pieces first and put your middle layer in. Again, we've
Yep.
blended just around the edges so that you've now got your coloured cardstock, everything's matching.
Yeah, exactly. Lovely having that little bit of blue.
So you're pulling everything together with your white card.
Super.
And then you're going to be doing exactly the same on these two. So. And as I always say, if you are building a card with multiple pieces,
Yeah.
to save yourself hunting for those multiple pieces, stick your card together as you're going along.
Okay, yes.
And then go
yeah,
back
yeah.
and do your final bits.
Yeah,
And again, these layers, line them up with each other as best as you can.
perfect.
They're not going to be perfect. It's a handmade card at the end of the day.
Yes, yeah, but that's the beauty of handmade cards, isn't it,
Yeah.
really?
You get away with it. So just layer those all up. So that's your base card
Yeah,
built,
it's lovely.
and that's just white cardstock, one stencil, and actually that even with just a sentiment on would be beautiful.
That's amazing,
So
isn't
I'm
it?
going to
Yeah.
pop that to one side.
You could literally just put a sentiment on that and be like, done.
You're
Couldn't
done.
you? Because it's enough actually
Completely.
just with that lovely bubble stencil, I
I'm going to
think.
go back to my stenciling. Get rid of these two pieces. And then we've got just a small piece here. I think it's 4 by 5, and I'm going to find my smaller parts of my stencil as much as possible. Pop that down. And again, I'm not going to add loads extra. You want this to be really light. You're going to stamp
Yeah.
on the top.
Okay,
So just to give it something in the background.
lovely.
So only a really light
Yeah.
blend of those colours. Basically, it's the ink that's left on your stencil that you're going to be using.
Lovely. Great.
And it doesn't have to be done perfectly. It is just to give it some detail on there.
Nice.
And then we're going to take, again,
Oh, it's
anti-static
so pretty,
bag.
isn't it? Yeah.
I have, you can see my sneaky bit, but
Yeah.
again, this is our VersaFine Onyx Black. Now, again, another little tip. With our stamps that are solid in the middle, we
Yeah.
keep them solid so that the oval keeps its shape.
Okay.
If I took that out, this wouldn't stay oval when you peel it off
Yes,
the
yeah,
backing
yeah, yeah.
sheet and place it on your card, etc.,
Okay.
or on your block.
Yeah.
So rather than go all the way across through the centre, work your way around the edge
Get it
of
into
that.
it. Yeah.
The reason I say that is
Okay.
because if you get an air bubble in the middle of this,
Yeah.
when you press it down, that air bubble is going to go into
Yeah,
the
of
middle
course
of
it
your
is.
stamp.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
just think about those extra little bits, and that will save you lots and lots of heartache.
don't you?
Can you tell we've all been there and done that?
Yeah.
So we're going to pop that down.
Brilliant. Just with us having like about a minute and a half left of the show, I'm just going to give you one quick look just through all of these stamp sets that you're getting for this price, just to give you a quick reminder, just why Amanda just puts that those embossing bits on. So you are getting all of these at a discounted price. If you want any of them individually, they're £9.99. But of course, the best way to get them is to go for all 6 of them at that discounted price of £55. They're all absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, there is the additional stamp set with the sentiments to be able to finish them off if you want more sentiments as well. That is also available there on the website, and that is matched, of course, at the price of £9.99 for all of those sentiments that you can see.
So I have completely speed crafted this onto the next one. So I did one earlier, and I have coloured that in with some pens.
Gorgeous.
And I've just popped a few gems on where those berries are.
Yeah. So lovely, isn't it?
So this is another card.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm going to put this on backwards. I'm not losing the plot, I promise. You want the card to be opening the wrong way.
Brilliant.
And then we're going to take our main card, open it out.
Yeah.
Position this in the middle of your base.
Lovely. So pretty, isn't it?
And then that will hold that all
Ah, very
together.
clever. Yeah.
So
wow, and perfect timing. There we are. Thank you so much. Do make sure that you're coming through and you're checking out on all of those bits. Go back to the website and you can, of course, check out on everything that's there as well. And you will be back in an hour, is that right, isn't
5
it?
till 6.
Where we can see loads more of this collection as well. So do tune back in at 5. We'll be back in a moment with Craig from Crafter's Companion. We are doing amazing sale deals and we're talking free gifts coming through with bits as well. So we'll see you in a moment with that.